Hello, welcome to another episode of the G.I. Joe New News Review. I am David Allen. We are now in the new year, so I wanted to come and talk to you about a few hot topics. I also wanted to talk to you about a couple of things that I've gotten in over the last week or so. And then I am going to do my classified top 10. Now, I don't usually do a lot of news and videos on classified. I like to show off what I got in and stuff like that and talk a little bit about them on videos, but I don't do reviews per se of classified because a lot of folks that are doing better reviews and do a better job with that sort of content out there in the G.I. Joe community. So I am just going to give my top 10 and give a little bit of information on each one, why I like them, and so on and so forth. But first off, I'm going to show off some stuff that I've gotten in this week. So Super 7 has recently started releasing the next wave of O-Ring Plus figures. So I ordered the ones that I could. I have yet to get the Fatal Fluffy or Ramar because they are not on order. So you have to find them in the store. But I was able to order Duke and Serpentor. And from what I've seen, I haven't had a really lot of time to look at these, but from what I see, the animation colors and the stylization uh, is pretty close to what they've released so far with the other figures. Uh, Snake Eyes, Cobra Commander, the Bat, and CoverGirl. So the articulation and everything, and the quality of paint and stuff looks pretty good. The back of the package, of course, has the file card. I can't really get a good picture of that. The file card there, you can kind of see it, and it has the cross sell on the back of all the characters. Obviously, so far my favorite it has been the Crimson Twins, Tomax and Sabot. People know that they're my favorites. But the Serpentor looks really good, and Duke looks the way he's supposed to look. He looks just like a Duke animated figure should look. He has the headband and, from the Arena of Sport from the first miniseries. So I think that was good for them to include that. The hair is different than the original figure from the 80s. So that's cool. And the color scheme is different. And the boots are more like the animated boots as well. I don't know if you can get a good look at these boots or not, but they look just like the animated boots with the cool stripe on them and stuff. So this is definitely an animated version of Duke. It looks really cool. I like it. And then, of course, his file card and cross sell as well. And Serpentor is definitely different than the original Serpentor. I have a Serpentor right over there, but I don't know if I can grab it to show the difference. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can grab this Serpentor that I have over here real fast. I'll be right back. Oops. So thankfully, this was pretty close. So from my collection, so I was able to grab it. So here's the original Serpentor. It'll come off of his chariot. There. Oops. I broke his hat. His thing off there. Okay, there he is. There's the original Serpentor. He's a little weak. I need to get a new O-ring apparently for him. And so if you take the original Serpentor and you look at it compared to uh, this version, the the boots are green for one. His boots on here are yellow, and he has a lot more gold, like a darker gold, and the figure is definitely a different version of that figure. This is more of an animated figure, the Super 7 one, and they do the animation really, really good. So there's nothing wrong with that. Looks very good. Has a cool cape, has a dagger. So I think they did a really good job with this, trying to get that animation deco on there, and so I think they did a good job. And the toy obviously is the toy, because that's the way it was designed originally. Everything else comes after the toys, the original '82 toys. So that's why we don't want to have identical things over the years. And there's been other Serpentors too, and they all look slightly different as well. But I think they did a really good job with these so far. I'm really looking forward to getting the uh, Fatal Fluffy and Ramar, hopefully soon. I hope they go up on their website and I can order them. I've been checking Targets. I haven't yet found any in my area in Florida. So we'll see how that goes. So next is I finally got my Iron Grenadier from Classified, and I'm a huge fan of Destro. Destro was my very first figure, so I'm very fond of the Iron Grenadiers and Destro as a character in the comics and the toys and stuff like that. And I think this upgraded version, based on the 4-inch, is really nice. I like more of the dress style uniform and a little bit of a updated mask there. Can't really see what that mask is, but it's definitely updated from the original. Looks more realistic and stuff. There's more deco on there, and he comes with a cool helmet on the side here. You can't really see it; it's right there. It comes with a saber carrier, a couple, 3 different weapons, 3 different guns. Um, Overall, I think this Iron Grenadier is really nice. There's the artwork on this package. Let's see if I can get the light to give you a better shot. There it is. And this is number 132. So I already showed off the other 3 figures in this wave. This is the last one to come. There was a delay on this one for some reason. I know other people are having a hard time getting this one as well. So the Iron Grenadier is really nice. I'm very happy with that one. So then, let's see. Then, surprisingly, I thought the shipping delays were going to delay a lot of these till way later this year, but I got a shipping notice earlier last week, and they started to ship. And so I thought I would show them off. They arrived today, so I thought I would show them off. And this is one of my most anticipated figures of this wave, and one of my most anticipated figures of the year so far, from what I've seen, because he's always been one of my favorite characters. Not only because he's a twin, he's a fraternal twin to Zarana, Xandar, one of the brother and sister of Zartan. And I'm a twin, and I have a fondness for twin characters and stuff like that. But Xandar always struck me as a very unique character. He's been kind of like a background character most of his lifespan as a toy, but Devil's Due brought him into a huge storyline that they were doing about the coil, and I won't spoil all that, but he had a really cool role in that and a cool upgraded uniform and costume, and so he's always been one of my favorite characters for many different reasons. And this version of him, he kind of looks like more of a Mad Maxy kind of character than he did in the '80s, where he's pulling different things from different places and creating this costume. And of course, underneath, the lightning bolts are there from different videos Lenny and people have showed off. From the vintage toy, the lightning bolts are on his chest, which I'm very happy that they incorporated because they didn't have to do that. I'm very happy about that. So he comes with a gun, a knife, a pistol, a cool weird blade, backpack, a whole bunch of gear and stuff like that. But he definitely looks more Mad Maxy. And he's from videos that I've seen, there's a scar underneath the side of his face over there that you can't really see it in the package the way I do because I don't open my toys out of their packages. So I won't be able to show you that scar. But maybe the artwork on there, maybe you can see the scar. And I forgot to show off the Iron Grenadier art. There's the Iron Grenadier art. Looks really cool, vintage and styled, inspired. And there's Xandar's art. And there's Xandar's package, and he is 146, and he looks really good. He's like one of my all-time favorite characters, and I think this is one of the best figures they've made this year, in my opinion. So let's see. Next, um, Leatherneck came with Xandar, and he is a chunky figure. He's one of the chunkiest figures that we've seen in this regular line of Classified, the standard line. Maybe Boa and people like that are a little bit chunkier, but he is pretty chunky for a standard Joe. And he's got two hands, he's got a backpack, he's got a knife, he's got a cool rifle, he's got some goggles there. He's got a lot of cool stuff, but they did a really good job, I think, capturing this and upgrading this and classifying it, as they like to call it. This is the classified line of GI Joes. So there's some upgrades to this that I think they did a good job. I like the secondary, and I like the overlay of a lot of the equipment and stuff that he has. And there's his artwork coming right out of the screen at you. Very cool. And then the back of his package as well. And he's 148. Another excellent figure. And then last but certainly not least is the Saw Viper. This guy is really hefty looking. He's a much bigger figure than I've seen him in the past. His 4 inch and his vintage. He's definitely heftier and larger, and he kind of more represents in the comic book version of this character, where he was a big, heavier character, heftier character, more imposing character. Saw Vipers killed off a bunch of Joes in the comics in the mid, I'd say, 20s. That was, and I'm not gonna spoil the rest of it, but he was a bad guy that needed to be reckoned with. That's for sure. Saw Viper, and there's his artwork on the back, on the side. He is 147. There's his artwork on that side. He looks really good. He's got this really cool big gun, and the vintage figure, the gun was almost bigger than the figure. But this one they did a little bit different. They added a saw in there. You can kind of see it there. He's got two masks. He's got a outer edge thing that comes off, and then a helmet. His cool green helmet. He's got a really big backpack. He's got another knife over here and another pistol. He comes with tons of stuff. He's very close to being almost a deluxe figure. There's so much stuff in this, and so big as well. Um, I think Hasbro has really done a really good job. And this is, of course, number 147. So they did not ship my dial tone. So that's going to go into one of my hot topics that I want to talk about. The fact that I didn't get dial tone with this shipment. These are all ordered at the same time through the Hasbro Pulse website. Um, but they made a comment during the PulseCon back in September that there was going to be some shipping delays and there'd be some issues this year. And so I guess we're starting to see some of those shipping delays and shipping issues, because I would have thought I could have got all four of these figures at the same time. But the fact that I'm missing dial tone shows that there's going to be some shipping delays, and we don't know when a lot of this stuff's going to ship, or if it's going to ship when we thought. Because that Saw Viper, I got a message from Hasbro Pulse saying it wasn't coming till like December of 2025. And here it is January 2025, and I got it a year early. So I'm not sure exactly what is going on with Hasbro Pulse, but we know that the Asian Pulse website, they're doing away with that for over in Asia. So they're shutting down Hasbro Pulse Asia. And so I don't know if that's involving this shipping problem or not, but we'll have to wait and see. I've talked to Brian Flynn about the shipping. He doesn't seem to think there's going to be any shipping delays for them. The fact that we got these Reaction Plus figures pretty fast after they were announced bodes well for Super 7. And the fact that the Fatal Fluffy and the Ramar have already been showing up at stores at Target. They weren't supposed to show up till mid-February, according to Brian Flynn. So that says there's some definite issues with the shipping, whether good or ill. We're just going to have to wait it out and see how it turns out. So another couple of items that I want to talk about for hot topics that are going on is Diamond Distribution, the previews guide, where I've been getting my comics since the late 80s through Diamond Distribution and Previews Guide. I've been collecting comics since the early 80s, since I was about 8 years old. Around 82, I got my first comic. And so I have been getting Diamond Distribution previews and so on for probably nearly so about 89, 99, 2009, 2009, about 35 years now. And they have filed for Chapter 11, which, if you know anything about these type of situations, Chapter 11 is a reorganization so they can figure out what their finances are and try to downsize and make their bills and pay their debts and so on and so forth. Marvel Comics went through a Chapter 11 reorganization in the late 90s, and they came out of it, and they are one of the biggest conglomerate companies now with Disney as partner with Disney. And so I don't think it's going to be a negative per se. I think it may be a positive thing to do reorganization for a company if they feel they need to reevaluate their finances and figure out how to get all their debts paid and so on and so forth. So I'm keeping an eye on this very closely, the Diamond Distribution. I get a lot of my comics now. I have through Luna uh, distribution, but I also always get a Diamond preview guide, and we order our comics through the Diamond preview guide, but it's shipped and distributed through Luna, which is the sister website of DCB Services, which is an online comic book service. And that's where I get most of my comics because it's cheaper and I buy a lot of comics. I spend a good close to uh, 350 to 450 a month. And if I didn't get the decent discount that I got from them, I wouldn't be able to do that. It would be like nearly $1,000 a month. So I have to do it that way because I buy too many comics. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on this situation with Diamond Distribution and keep you updated because of the G.I. Joe comics and so on and so forth that are going to be creating more news over the next few months leading to Yojo June. So I will give you updates on those posts when I make them. So then um, we have been getting a lot of speculation that we're going to be getting a new Hasbro Pulse event, something for G.I. Joe Day in February. But February Yojo Day is on a Saturday. Typically, they do not show stuff on Saturdays. They show it Thursdays or Fridays. So we're either going to get it early or we're going to get later in February. So I know there's a Star Wars Pulse event on January 22nd. We've already had a Transformer one. We've already had a Marvel Legends one. So Star Wars is the 22nd. That's actually tomorrow. So that's going to be Wednesday. So then if they continue this, then we should get a G.I. Joe Classified update or Pulse event or something next week, Thursday or Friday, hopefully by then. I'm hoping it doesn't go into February, but we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe we'll be getting some of the updates on the Cobra Claw. Maybe we'll get some updates on Crystal Ball, who's probably going to be a Walmart CollectorCon uh, item this year, from what I understand. So we may not get pictures of Crystal Ball, but we may be getting pictures of like the next wave of figures that we have not seen yet, like Dark Lawn, Snake Eyes version 4, Blowtorch, and Footloose, which we already have renders of Footloose and Barbecue. So I guess it's Darklon and Snake Eyes version 2 we haven't seen. We have seen renders of the Flak Viper already as well. So then we have to see more updates from Law and Order as well. So those are all the outstanding things. We've got a couple of vintage package characters that should be coming out. Maybe we'll get some updates on them. Flint, CoverGirl, the G.I. Joe green shirt. Let's see what else. The Viper. That's going to be with the Rock and Roll and the Dr. Mindbender wave. So I'm trying to think who's with the Flint and CoverGirl and green shirt. I think. Oh, the Televiper. That's right, an updated Televiper. So we might get some stuff on those. And I think that's about all the outstanding stuff. Maybe we'll get an update on that um, sneak preview. They gave us a clue of a vehicle, and everybody's speculation is it's the Odd Striker, because the Odd Striker's been like a number one staple of G.I. Joe for the last 15 years. They've made probably 30 Odd Strikers over the last 30 years. So to do a classified Odd Striker is just obvious. And let's hope we get Crankcase with it and not a different character. They just did the Odd Striker Bumblebee collab with Transformers. So I think it's definitely going to be the Odd Striker. So maybe we'll get some updates on that as well. That's all the cool stuff we couldn't see in the new Hasbro Pulse event. Hopefully next week. Cross your fingers, I guess. Cross your fingers for that. So then I'm going to go on to my top 10 classified items. I'm going to preface it by saying items because not all of these things are figures. So these are my top 10 items classified for the 2024 year. And I also want to clarify in the toy industry considers the beginning of the fiscal year February. So my G.I. Joe Classified top 10 items are going to be from February of 2024 to January of 2025. That is the fiscal year for toy companies because all the toy factories in Asia and so on go into Chinese New Year, which is their holiday, in February. So all the toy companies ship everything out for the resets in February. All the stores reset all their toys, Walmart, Target, you name it, in February. So that is the beginning of the fiscal year for the toy industry. And so that is where my year begins for my classified items of my favorite 10 items of the year. So let's begin with number 1. Now, this is only my favorite items. It doesn't have to be your favorite items, and you don't have to like my favorite items. So this is just my opinions and how I feel, and that's it. Because, I'm a human and I have my own opinions. So there you go. So my first number 10 of my top 10 is the Spirit and Lowlight Mad Marauders 2-pack. And it's Spirit Iron Knife with Niall. He comes with a different bird in this one. And these are from the Mad Marauders Sergeant Slaughter's line, offshoot line. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but I think the Spirit is absolutely phenomenal. I think Niall looks great. I think their loadouts are incredible. They have so much awesome stuff. Look at the packaging on that. Holy smokes. It just jumps off that package. It is so beautiful. So that is my number 10. I love this set. It's one of my favorite sets this year. Um, so my next favorite, number 9. This is one of my all-time favorite characters from the 80s because of certain elements from the comics, the 60s, the way that he was portrayed, his origin, his background, and he is in one of my favorite stories of all time, and that is the updated classified Raptor, and I think he is phenomenal. And he has a bird as well, General Ledger. I love all these bird companions. I think they're really cool. There's a lot of homages to the original Raptor, but with his apparatus, that Vulture-esque apparatus, kind of like the Marvel movie version of Vulture. I think he looks really, really cool. And I've only been getting 2 of every figure, but I went and got a third one of this one because he's one of my favorites. In fact, almost all the things that I really like, I get triples because I like them so much. He's got all kinds of arrows, knives, guns, pistols. He's got his classic cowl. Excuse me while I get a drink because I'm talking so much. All right. So now on to number 7. Now, anybody that knows me, that knows what I like, one of my favorite things in G.I. Joe, they should be no surprise that this is on my list of top 10 classified items. It is the Twilight Guard and the Steel Corps Commander. Steel Corps Commander versus Twilight Guard 2-pack. Now, this Twilight Guard is obviously an advanced Crimson Guard, a more elite Crimson Guard, and everybody knows how much I love the Crimson Guard. That's my favorite faction. The Crimson Guard is one of my all-time favorite figures, and the Crimson Twins are my favorite characters of all G.I. Joe characters. As their villains, Spirit was or is my favorite G.I. Joe character. So that clarifies one of those why that is one on my list as well. He's one of my top characters. But these guys have so much stuff. There's all these cool highlights on these weapons, purple highlights. There's blast effects. There's pistols. There's backpacks. There's a really cool cape that I think we're definitely going to be getting with Iron Grenadier Destro. I think this was the test to see how that worked, and it works really good. I've seen videos on it, and it looks really good. And a friend of mine is a huge Steel Core Steel Core figure collector, and he loves these as well. And they got like a more purple deco and green than the original. And look at this art on the back of this. This is so dynamic. It is so awesome. I think they've done a phenomenal job with this. I really do. I love it when they do stuff that's out of the box, different. That's what I want. I want Classified to lean heavily into doing different things and taking things that exist and upgrading them. I love the fact that they're doing 2 lines, vintage and classified, where they're updating those modern, those past characters and ideas and giving them the modern touches that they're doing. I think that's the best thing that they could do. That's the best way to go about doing classified with classified and the vintage. And then the folks that love those vintage versions, now they can get a lot of that in the vintage line. I think that's the best way to go about it. So then the next item, now this might be a little bit controversial as number 6, because I know it's way up on a lot of people's lists, but I think you should always go better with the original version of this than you should the remake of it. And this is phenomenal. Don't take anything away from this. It is a phenomenal interpretation of this vehicle. It's beautiful. The artwork on this is beautiful. The figure is a really cool, nice upgrade to that figure, and color deco and everything like that. And there's the kind of gave us this blueprint on the back of it. This is the Stinger. No, this is the Cobra Night Attack 4-wheel Stinger and driver set. So not just the Stinger. It's a whole set. So I really love it. I think it's phenomenal. I've seen some of these open by people, and I think they are really incredible. Nothing to take away from that from people, but look at that. That he looks so sinister. Look at those eyes. They're really cool. But I always would go with the original version first over the deco or repainted version. So that's just my 2 cents. And because I said that this video, this consists of 2024 February to January 2025, that means that this character can fit into my top 10. And this is going to be a little controversial, but it is my favorite. So it's my video. And I'm putting this cool, awesome new Xandar in my top 10 as number 5. And I think he's phenomenal. Let me make sure I have that right. 10, 9, 8, 7. No, this is number 6. So that was the Stinger is number 7. Xandar is number 6. And for all the same reasons that I said earlier, he's one of my all-time favorite characters. He's an under rated character that has a mystery to him, and he's got updated deco and scheme to him based on kind of like a Mad Maxy vibe theme. And he's got all the things that you would want and added more, like the scar on in the neck. He's got Zorana's handkerchief. He's got the tattoos. He's got a whole loadout in here. He's just phenomenal. So I could not have done a top 10 without putting Xandar in there. He's just incredible. So I'm putting him as number 6. And so number 5, that gets us down to the top 5 classified items of the year. Now you know why I'm saying items, because you can figure out there are vehicles on this list. So this is one of my all-time favorite characters from the 80s as well, but they really knocked it out of the park for the figure, and that is the Night Creeper. And if you remember on my video, my top 5 G.I. Joe toys of the year, he made it, and he was, I think, number 3 on my top G.I. Joe toys of the year. So I've had to adjust that because now there's a lot of other things that have come in. So I've adjusted that. He's number 5 on my top classified G.I. Joe toys of this year, the fiscal year. And there's his artwork, which I love. I think he looks so awesome. He looks so realistic. He jumps right off that package. There's some updated elements. His sword is a little different. The deco is a little darker. It includes the version 2 helmet. It has so much really cool stuff in this. He's beautiful. He's an absolute beautiful figure. So there you go. Number 5. Now number 4. Again, you'll probably remember what my top 5 G.I. Joe toys of the year was, and you'll know that he was on there. And so there he is, the Once a Man Cobra Commander. And this was a phenomenal shock to me when they announced that they were doing this. I never thought we were going to get a Once a Man Cobra Commander. Hasbro has never made this character before as an official toy since the 80s till now. There's never been an official Once a Man Cobra Commander. And he comes with the humanoid version, and he comes with the snake version where he's already a snake. And the scene with the Roadblock right there, where he's like coiled around him, it's right there. And there's a lenticular box on this. There's beautiful artwork all around on all sides of this by the artist. I'm missing his name. It's on the edge of my head. John Jiang. is the artist on this, and he's the artist on another piece as well. And there's Globulus, and there's who's that down there? Oh, that's Falcon down there. Oh yeah, so that's cool. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece of packaging and art by John Jiang. All this is phenomenal. There he is in the clam. He comes with a second head, a second mask that falls off when it falls to the ground. A robot touches it. He comes with his backpack that his hair dryer gun goes into. He's got several hands, a knife, a sheath. It's really cool. I would have liked a little bit more articulation for serpent type on one of his legs, maybe. But from what it is, and it comes with this cool slipcase that goes over it to protect the lenticular package. So that is number 4. Phenomenal job there, Hasbro, on that one. Yeah, Commonwealth Community Watch. Yeah, Jiang is a phenomenal artist. The stuff that I've seen that he's done has been incredible. Thanks for the comment. So let's see. Number 3. And again, if you saw my top toys of 2024, you'll know that this guy was on there. And this was one of my highest rated toys of last year. And he has gotten a very good spot in my top 10 classified figures of the year as well. So now he is number 3. Can you see where this is going? This is Nemesis Enforcer. And again, John Jiang artwork. John Jiang, beautiful packaging design. Incredible. And there's the Cobra Commander down there with the clam. I should put it on this finger right here, up here. Cobra Commander with clam. So this is a good twofer. I like it that they do these things like twofers, like they did Serpentor and Dr. Mindbender, and they did Chuckles and the Crimson Twins with Baroness, like twofer sets where they connect story elements, and there's a nice kind of theme going on with them. So this goes with the Cobra Commander, and I think this was a beautiful job. They've got the alternate spiked head. He's got the googly legs. They look really, really good. Yeah, they were hard to get. I try to keep up with that stuff and get in there really quick. So I understand Commonwealth Community Watch, what you're talking about, but I've missed a couple things here and there, but I try to keep up and get on there right away. Um, so he has the googly backpack. He also has the bat backpack that is like a creature unto itself. He's got different hands. He's got these really cool bone blades that kind of go into his sheets that are, oh, they got red and stuff on them. So it's kind of a little gory and everything. They're really cool. Um, this is just a phenomenal figure. I know there's not a lot of love for Cobra La, but I'm not one of those people. I love all the fantasy and the creatures and the fun out of the box ideas that Hasbro did back in the day, and I'm looking forward to them doing more. Based off this, I hope we can get some really cool stuff in the future. So if anybody at Hasbro watches this video, please bring on the fun, bring on the fantasy, bring on the out of the box stuff, more of it. Thank you again. And this is number 3 of my top 10. Now, if you saw my top toys of 2024, you'll know what my number 1 toy was. But my number 1 toy is not going to be number 1 this time. My number 1 toy was the Vamp, classified Vamp with clutch. And this is an incredible achievement by Hasbro to upscale this to classified and make it so realistic, so phenomenal. All the stuff that they added to this is incredible. I've seen them opened up, and they are really, really cool. Again, I do not open my figures, so I can only look at open ones by other people. So there's the back of the package, and it's huge. And when I say huge, it's like really big. It's wider than my chest, I would say. It's big. It's really chunky. It's beautiful. I think that was an achievement beyond anything that I thought they could do with Classified, but they did it. And so that makes me very happy for the future of what's to come. And I'm really, really looking forward to possibly getting some other vehicles. There's been a lot of rumors of course, the tease of the Ostriker. There's been other rumors of the Thunder Machine and the Snowcat. And so if we get those in classified size based on the Stinger and the Vamp, they are going to be big. So they're going to be really cool. And so I look forward to all of those and whatever else they can do. And we are definitely going to be getting our HasLab Rattlers too that look really huge too. So you can almost get a sneak preview of what's going to be on the top 10 next year with the Rattler. But so I could not do a top 10 classified items of the year without doing this item as number one. I would be kind of a moron if I did that because it comes with some of the greatest characters. It comes with, it's one of the best pieces of artwork. And I call it art because toys is art. It takes a lot of people, engineers, artists, computer specialists to make this and to come together and to manufacture this item and put it out in quantities that all of us can get in classified size. And that is this. And you can see how big this sucker is. It is, whoops, I have it upside down, is the classified Rattler. I mean, the dragonfly. It almost takes up my entire picture. You can't even see my head. Look at that artwork. Look at that artwork. That's the artist that did the Hiss Tank art. Look at that. It's incredible. It's absolutely beautiful. The toy is incredible as well. Look at that. The toy is incredible in its own right. Because I don't open mine, mines are not put together. Look at that dragonfly logo. And then on this side is the blueprint of it. Oops, sorry. There you go, the blueprint. Man, is this thing incredible. I have plans to possibly open a lot of these large items and display them in the future. I have an idea on how to do it. It's just going to take me a little bit of time to really get that situated before I can do it. And then I'll probably open up a lot of these big um, classified items and some other items that I've gotten through Super 7 and Skeletron. So yeah, excuse me again. And so you got a glimpse of the Dragonfly in the package, but the Dragonfly came with a handful of figures. And when I say handful, I mean a handful, 4 figures. So the first one is Jane Glenda Mulligan. Now she is a international Palatoy character that was from I think Switzerland. Um, and she was a figure that I never had as a child. I still don't have this figure now because it's an international character, and I don't have that many international figures. I have a handful, but not that many. Um, but this gave us the clues that we were going to get a vintage styled Scarlet, and we did pretty close after this was revealed. And she looks really cool. I like the fact that they gave her 3 different helmets and a head and 3 different heads all combined in there. She also got cool like the jumpsuit thing to attach to the bottom of the dragonfly to be lowered and raised to save people. She's got different hands. She's got a rifle. She's got a pistol. She's got a secondary. She's got a backpack, a cool laser backpack, which everybody thinks is going to be with Flash and maybe some of those type characters. We'll see. But if you put all these together, they have this mural on the side, and I will show them after I have them all in order. So the next one is Crazy Legs. Now, Crazy Legs was always a cool character back in the 80s. I liked his deco, the red and gray, and he had a bit of a more of a cocky attitude and stuff in the comics and stuff like that. And you can't really tell in this figure, but they gave him like a 4 o'clock shadow, and they even gave him that red hat. And somebody revealed what those guys that are paratroopers that wear the red hat, what it means. I can't recall what that means. If that person is watching this video, they can comment and let us know. He comes with a regular helmet, a rifle, a pistol, goggles, a knife, a backpack, and his backpack has a hole in it, so you can put a parachute. So they're definitely doing some world building with this, because we haven't gotten parachutes yet. We're probably gonna get parachutes. Actually, there might be a parachute with the 60th anniversary Halo jumper. Now that I think about it, there is actually. I think there's a parachute with him, so you could probably use it on him with his backpack. So there you go. And Crazy Legs is a really cool character. I like him. He did not get a lot of play in the comics in the 80s, though. So there's not a lot of stories with him. Um, the next character is probably one of my top 5 characters of all time. He's always been one of my top 5 characters due to some of the stories that Larry Hama did with him in the comics. And he was just a cool looking figure, and he had a lot of gear. And he's attached to one of my all time favorite characters from the comics, Bongo the Balloon Bear. So if you can figure all that out, then you'll know my next character is Night Force Ripcord. I love me some Ripcord. He's one of the coolest characters. He's had some of the coolest storylines in the comics. Anybody that can survive a fight with Zartan deserves some respect. You have to read the comics to figure that one out. He comes with a cool sniper rifle, cool pistol, another rifle. He's got his helmet, his goggles. He's got an air breather mask. He's got a huge backpack over there. And the fact that they did him as a Night Force Night Force character version, like they did with the Sky Striker, is phenomenal, because that means we're gonna get another Ripcord, hopefully this year, of a regular Ripcord. And so that was the Crazy Legs artwork. Look at how awesome he looks. And then, of course, my Ripcord, cocky, really cool looking. He kind of looks like Mark Webber. If you've ever met Mark Webber, one of the Hasbro design people, um, he works for, I think, Valaverse now. That kind of looks like Mark Webber, a younger Mark Webber. Sorry, Mark. But this ripcord is absolutely phenomenal. I'm so happy. And let's see, what is next? Oh, I want to also say that the Crazy Legs is a Night Force figure too. So there's 2 Night Force figures in this wave of characters. So then the last, certainly not least, we would not be able to get a Dragonfly without its pilot, and that is Wild Bill. And this is a very nice upgrade to the original Wild Bill. It looks just like that in certain ways, but it's definitely an upgrade. He's got 2 different hats. He's got a head with a hat, hair. He's got glasses. He's got 2 revolvers. He's got a knife. Man, he's really good. They really nailed this one. I applaud you for that one, Hasbro. What an incredible job. Look at him. Look at him with his guns and stuff like that. Right out of the Old West. He's a really cool figure. I think overall, I think Hasbro did a phenomenal job with this Dragonfly. And so I'm going to show all the figures with the mural. It'll come off like that. There you go. There's the mural of all the figures in the packaging. So there you go. 42, 43, 44, and 45. And this was my number one pick for best classified item of the 2024 fiscal year. And I hope that you guys enjoyed um, this video and seeing my top 10 and learning a little bit more about some of the cool things that are going on in the world of G.I. Joe. I love this brand and I will continue to love this brand, and I'll bring you more information as I get it. So if you want to see more content like this, please like, share, and click subscribe to this video, all those things that you need to do. And I will talk to you next time. Yo, Joe.